Yo, what's going on, BroTalk Nation, man? It's your boy Eric here. Hey, I got my brother Jamarcus here, man. And tonight we are back for part 3 of the Wait series, right? So tonight, we coming to sit on your couch. We coming to no social distance. We coming to be all in your business to expose everything, right? And so in tonight's episode, we talking about contentment. That's inside. That's the inside job, right? Being content in the wait. See, this is where we finna really, we finna come get you, man. I'm gonna be honest with you. It's about to be real. It's about to go down. So, hey, man, if you out there on YouTube, Facebook, hey, go ahead and like the page. Go ahead and like the video. Share it with 10 to 12, 1,500 people. Get this thing out because there's a word that needs to go out. And towards the end, guys, we got a little special announcement for y'all.
Hey,
God is moving. God is amplifying BroTalk. And hey, man, we got a special surprise for y'all because we've been obedient and subbing ourselves to the mission, right? So, hey, I'm going to turn it over to my brother Jamarcus, man.
Hey, what's going on, BroTalk Nation, man? I gotta let y'all in on a secret early, man. I gotta reamp myself. Like, we literally thought we was live 3 minutes ago and was literally 3 minutes into the show, like for real, speaking the same thing we just was speaking, and ended up noticing that we were not live, man. It was too funny, man. I gotta start recording these bloopers because this be like the funniest thing in the world. But hey, BroTalk Nation, what's going on, man? First and foremost, man, God be the glory. Thank you for everything he's doing. I'm so happy to be here with y'all on this Saturday. Ready to give this good news out, man. Hey, if you did not catch last week's episode, please go click the link in the bio. Go catch up. Go hear that good word. I mean, I re-listened to it yesterday. It was God moving, as he always does on this show. Shouts out to our friend Shay again, coming on, being very transparent, giving her her testimony and her message. Man, it was just a beautiful episode, man. That's all I can say, man, when God is doing great things. But the show must go on. And here we are, man. We're on episode 59. And as my brother E say, we're in part 3 of this series right now that's have been phenomenal. Breakthrough for me and my family. I know for E and our friends all around us, part 3 of this series called The Wait. Tonight, we're talking about contentment, the inside job, man. This is about to be good, man. I was listening to one of my favorite pastors, Pastor Madu, and he was talking about, he had his last sermon I was listening to, and he was talking about a couple of things. But something brought out that he said in his sermon that got me stuck on what we're talking about tonight. And it made me started thinking about this, one of my favorite movies with one of my top actors in it, Denzel. You know, ladies, calm down, like real fast. Calm down right now. He is not on the show. We are not there yet. All right, we're not there. The most I can bring you right now is Eddie Kane from the movie. That's all we can bring right now. Still trying to get him on. So we do not have Denzel. But what I'm trying to say is one of the movies that he talked about was The Inside Man, right? And it made me start thinking about this movie. And if you haven't seen the movie, spoiler alert, but a part of the movie was about the criminal, the crook, who was trying to do something good and steal something from somebody who was a bad person. But the way about how he got away with the crime is the best part of what we're talking about. What we're talking about right now, how he got away was he let all the people free from the bank robbery, right? The hostage, the other criminals. They dressed up like the hostages. Nobody knew who they was, even though the Denzel, who was the cop, had been talking to the bad guy, so he knew his voice and kind of knew stuff about him. This man dug a hole in the prison in the bank robbery himself behind the vault, and he waited. Like, he waited weeks in this one hole. Like, he did everything. He ate in there. He drank water in there. He went to the restroom in there. He did everything in this confined space until everybody forgot about the robbery, the crime, and he got free. So it made me start thinking about this inside job. That's how you get away with stuff, right? It's more effective on a change when it's in the inside, not the outward appearance, right? We all can change the outward appearance of ourselves and put on the show, but in the inside, things can still be going on, right? In my lifetime, we've shared it before. I've shared it before that, I went of a childhood of, sexual abuse and abandonment. So I was able to put on this outward appearance that everything was okay. I would put on a smile quick and early. Like, I would put it on quick and fine, and you would think that, this little kid, he's fine. He's good, right? But the inside of me was going through so much. I wasn't changing the inside job. I wasn't content with what was going on in the inside, right? That weight that was going on, it was crazy. So it brought me to this movie, bro, and it got me to thinking that if you want to see changes, it got to start in the inside. So tonight we're talking about that contentment, right? And if you're like me, bro, I never knew what contentment was. Like, I'm serious. Like, we learn about so much stuff in the Bible that we got to do, right? We got to be renewed. We got to be refreshed. We can't lie. We can't cheat. We can't steal. We can't kill. And you miss the other things that the Bible talk about. And one of those things I missed out of the Bible was the phrase contentment. I missed it. I never knew what contentment was. So I wanted to talk a little bit about it, bro. So that's just where we at right now, bro. I don't know if you want to hop in right now, bro, but man, we got a long way to go, bro.
Hey, this is something, man. I think that a lot of people, like, we don't talk about it because we're just on a journey and we're praying for these things. And, if you guys haven't been listening to the series, we're talking about the thing that we're praying for, asking God to do in our lives. Mm-hmm. And then we're in the period of the wait, right? Yeah. So in the midst of the wait, there are certain things about you that, like, your mindset changes, your heart changes, your posture of your prayers change, right? So what we're about to dive into, my brother about to talk about is basically finding peace in the midst of waiting, right? It's hard to find peace when chaos is going on, or what we think is chaos in our life, right? We looking at the house burning, right? Use this analogy, right? You're looking at your house burning, right? But you already called the fire department, but they haven't got there. See, you see the house is burning and you're wanting to go get some water. You're wanting to try to go through the house.
Like, where you going with it?
You know what I'm saying? Like, you're trying to go do, and right now this ain't the time for you to do because, hey, you're not certified firefighter to go in there and put the fire. All you know is water puts out a fire, but see, there are some other things and details that go behind the scenes to putting the fire out, to setting up, to making sure that your house doesn't completely burn down with minimal damage, right? God is the same way. In the midst of this wait, you have to find contentment in God because He knows everything about the intricacies of what you're asking for, right?
I like that. That's good, bro. Like, so now we about to go ahead and dive in, right? Because E always gonna give y'all those tangibles, them things that y'all can eat on, man. That's what I like about E. Like, he always break it down to me, even when we be talking at work, or if he know I need a word, he gives it to me like in a sense where I can eat the word that he's giving, right? That daily bread that you need, bro. And it's so crazy. I told you none of this stuff is scripted. It's gonna come back up. Like, literally what you said is gonna come back up later. Yeah. But how I'm gonna dive into this, right, bro? So I'm gonna give y'all anchor. I'm gonna give the anchor verse, right? I'm gonna shoot y'all off to Proverbs 30:30. chapter 30, verse 7-9. Proverbs 30, 7-9, right? And I'm gonna read it after I give this little story real quick. So this week, man, me and my fam, we went to go see a movie, Shang-Chi. Shout out Marvel, man, great movie. I'm not about to spoil anything in the movie, but I gotta give y'all how this gonna tie into it. All right, I'm not gonna spoil anything, but I'm gonna tie into it. This is stuff that y'all can see on the trailer. All right, so don't shoot the messenger. All right. But in the movie, right, the actual guy who owns the 10 rings is the father, right? The guy who owns it. He's called by many names, the Mandarin, all this stuff that you heard before. The 10 rings have given him a power, right? He has power with the 10 rings. Keep that in mind. He has power with the 10 rings that he has, right? But in that power, it makes him hungry to get more. So the 10 rings make him mortal and give him power. So he lives forever and he has power. Now, what does that do? It makes him hungry to get more power, hungry to get more things. This is what the 10 rings does for him. Now, in that story, he meets the love of his life, right? He meets the love of his life. He falls in love. He takes the rings off. So he's not mortal no more. He's not immortal no more. And he doesn't have the power. Now, the crazy thing that happens, something bad happens. I'm not even going to say what happens when he takes the rings off. But the reason I'm making this point is the reason that something happened bad is because when he had on the rings and he was becoming a bad person and taking over people's lives and killing people and getting all this more power, his past crept up on him and destroyed something that was good, even though he wasn't bad no more. Now, this is the point I'm making because you're catching it already, right? See, with contentment, it's being satisfied with what you have. Now, if you just got the rings and just been powerful and just been immortal, but never would have got so hungry that he wanted more and more, his past wouldn't have crept up and took something from him when he didn't have it on no more. See, sometimes we like to think, well, I did all I did, right? And now I'm in a place where I'm doing good, that our past is not going to creep up on us. See, in the contentment phase, you're being satisfied with what you got, right? So it brings me to my first point, bro. It brought to my first point. Are you focused on your wants, right? If you read Proverbs 30:79, it says, "Oh God, I beg two favors from you. Let me have them before I die. First, help me to never tell a lie. Second, give me neither poverty nor riches. Give me just enough to satisfy my needs. For if I grow rich, I may deny you and say, 'Who is the Lord?' And if I'm too poor, I may steal and thus insult your holy name." Another version says, "Give me just enough daily bread," right? Just give me just enough. So this verse right here is telling you about being content, being satisfied with just enough, right? It made me start thinking, bro, and I'm asking everybody out here too. Imagine yourself in a desert and you've been lost for like 4 days. It's hot. You ran out of water a day ago. You don't know where you are, right? You don't know where you are, and you lost. And if you think about that little part right there, like the crazy thing is, if you lost and you don't know where you are, that's even worse. Like being stranded in a place that's familiar, it's kind of cool because you can do something. But being stranded in a place that you don't know, that's extra added on stress, right? Man, but let's say you find a magic lamp. Remember, you're lost in a desert, stranded, no water. You ran out of that a day ago. You find a magic lamp. The genie gives you 3 wishes. But he gives you instructions on your wishes. He tells you the things that you wish for, they can't be your needs. Not now, not today, nor ever. I gotta ask y'all out there, what y'all gonna wish for? See, I'm gonna be real with y'all. I'm gonna be transparent right now. Most of us in that time right there, we're gonna wish for what? Wealth. We're gonna wish for what? Like, the things that car, money, clothes, big house, wealth, the best job, the best looking body. Let me cut this 50 pounds off. Better yet, give me that spouse over there who's 6'6", strong muscles. She 5'5", brown eyes, figure looking all good. We're gonna wish for all of those things right there.
Yeah.
And you're gonna sit there in your head and you didn't even listen to the instructions. Nothing that you wish for can bring the needs that you needed right then and there. Not today, not tomorrow, or in the future. I bet you forgot about the water that you need to survive.
Man,
I just told you you was lost in the desert, stranded. You ran out of water. And the genie told you that the wish you make can't bring the need that you need today, nor tomorrow, or forever. So the wealth that you just wished for can't even buy you the water that your body needs. See, the wealth that you just wished for can't even bring you the bread that you need. You missed the verse in the thing. It asks for to give me just my daily bread, bro. I'm gonna pause right there. I'm gonna pause, bro.
Hey, golly, that was so good. Hey, if y'all didn't catch none of that, man, that was living water right there, right? That was so good. It goes with every human being, right? I will be that person.
Yeah, me too.
I will be that person that rubs that lamp and tell the genie, hey man, give me this. See, we think about the things that we want in our life, but we don't think about the needs that we have.
That's good. Life. I like that. I'm about to write that one in the chat room.
Your needs supersede your wants all day long. God supplies your every need. You know what I'm saying? He don't supply your every want, because if that's the case, it would be one person on this earth and they would have everything, because they would want to give me everything and take away everybody else, right? So in our wants and needs, like, you have to understand, like, the thing that you praying for. I've had to change up how I pray. Like, I try to pray in a way that, God, hey, I'm asking for things, but listen, if it's not in your will, hey, your will be done over my life. I say yes to your will, not my own, because I know Eric is going to get greedy. See, I'm gonna be hot, open, and transparent. I have a bougie mentality. I'm not even gonna lie to you. I love exotic cars, Lambos, Ferraris, Bugatti. I love all that, right?
Mm-hmm.
If I had that wish, I'd be wishing for a Ferrari, a Lambo, and that's just me. That's my appetite, right? But see, that's not a need for me. I don't need them cars. I don't need wealth. Because guess what? If I'm out here and I don't have a drop of water or some food to eat, I'm going to die. And all them cars, somebody else gone, because I'm going to be gone, right? So we have to sit back and we have to really look at our needs. Like, ask God for your need. See, God knows what you need. We don't. Ain't that crazy? It's crazy that we don't even know what we truly need, but God supplies it. And the crazy part is, when I get to praying for all these things, God says, I will give you all things added unto you. But when you see my kingdom, I'm going to supply the need first. And then when you get the want, it's going to be like, oh my God, I can't believe God did this.
Yeah.
Isn't it surprising? Like, when he blesses you abundantly.
You're going right into it.
Come on, man.
Hey, you going right into this little point I'm making right now. I had to write down a note, bro, because you kept talking about like wealth, and I was making a note. Isn't it, if you think about it, bro, isn't it crazy that we spend the first half of our lives, we spent the first, like, in the first half of our lives, we spend our health to gain wealth, and in the second part of our lives, we spend the wealth for our health. Like,
oh, that's good.
Did you catch that? This is how you know you're content. This is how you know your content is out of whack right now. When you can look in your lives and you see that you are working your health to gain wealth. But then in the second half of your lives, you are now spending your wealth on your health. That's how you know you're focused on the wrong things. That's how you know you're content is not focused right now. Like, and this is what E is trying to bring up, and it's literally what this Proverbs is talking about, just being satisfied, like just being satisfied with what you need. That's why this Bible says, like, and it's so crazy that it made the emphasis on in the other version. Just give me my daily bread, my daily bread. And you know what's so crazy? The bread that they're talking about is good. And God is telling you, I know it's good, but you only need what you need for that day. Because if you get too much, then you're going to think you got too much wisdom and you're not going to come back to me. It's just like when my wife makes like one of my favorite meals, right? The meal is so good. If I get too greedy with it, I don't want it again. So the next time she make it doesn't taste the same because I had too much of it the last time. See, that's what God is trying to say. You need just enough. Just ask for the daily bread, bro. And the crazy thing, like the second part to what I was talking about early, bro, like you were in the desert and you didn't even know that you caught a break by finding a lamp. Like you caught a break. That break is the same thing as the lamp. If you think of it, that's the prayers that we pray for every single day. And God gave us that lamp. He gave us that prayer. But you said it, E. Did you rush because of your surroundings? See, you talked about this earlier. You talked about that chaos. See, we are in that stranded. We're in a desert. We're stranded. We found the lamp. And now I need to get my wish out. Hey, I want wealth, the great body, and a spouse. You didn't really think about what you needed to ask for because of your surroundings. See, it's the same way when God brings us our prayer. Take the lamp out the picture now. He brought you that blessing. Now you rushing because things are in chaos. Oh, God, thank you for this chief promotion, but I'm about to go do what I'm about to do. And then right then and there, what happens? Oh, God, thank you for this good man that you just brought me right now. Now I'm about to rush into this because of my surroundings. See, when we finally hear from God with our blessings, we tend to rush with them. We tend to rush with our blessings before going out. See, when God gives us our blessings, we're supposed to bring it back to his feet and wait. Wait for him to tell us what to do with it, because our blessings are not for us. It's for the kingdom. Anything that we are given, even though we prayed for it, it's for the kingdom. So you need to take it back to his feet and wait with it.
Yeah.
Man. Like,
hey.
bro.
Hey, so if you ever got like somebody ever bought you something, right? And you know what I'm saying? They was like, hey man, I was thinking of you. And you was like, oh, this is dope. But you didn't know what to do with it, right? Like, that's what God does. See, the blessing that you ask for, see, he's going to give you that blessing, but it's going to be a whole different version. It's going to be way better than your brain can fathom, right? Yeah. But you don't know what to do with it because you didn't create the blessing. We missed this. We think, hey, I prayed for it, God gave it to me, now I'm gonna just go. See, that's not how God works. You have to be patient, right? You have to take your time and walk. We talked about this on pod way back when in a podcast that nowhere in the Bible will you find where Jesus moved hastily or where Jesus moved quickly or Jesus moved swiftly, right? I can remember a scripture in the Bible. They said, hey, Jesus, Lazarus is dead. He said, all right, cool. Big needed a couple of days. This man I'm talking about his body got rigor mortis on it. And Jesus said, all right, cool. He ain't dead, but we'll take care of it. And he said, hey, Lazarus, get up.
That's good, bro.
See, there's nothing about God is sped up in time. That's good. My brother talked about this on the last podcast. God's time is way different from ours. So whatever you asking for, know that when you get it, hey, sit down and say, hey, God, you know what? You blessed me with more than I asked for. So in my mind, I had a plan for what I asked for, but you blessed me with more. So with the more that you gave me, what do I need to do with it? See, that's something. That's where God says, okay, my child got it. Now they asking for wisdom Because when you move in wisdom, you don't make mistakes.
That's good. That's good, bro. That's so good. I'm laughing because you brought up that, man, dog, God is good. Like, you brought up the Lazarus like story in the Bible, and it's so crazy. Like you said, like Jesus never moved swiftly, hastily. He never rushed in anything he's doing, right? And in that moment, like, you got to think about it, like we talked about Mary and them, is like, hey man, he dead, man, he dead, and Jesus is like, right now, I'm preaching right now, like right now, I'm catching the ones that are alive right now. So let's wait on it. Just wait. And that's so crazy because even in the wait, that's when we talked about last time, we grow impatient, right? And the first two letters of impatient is am. So they were impatient, and like you're explaining, like Jesus is like, my power goes way beyond the wait. Like, I know I'm telling you to wait, but if you wait, I'm gonna fulfill everything that needs to be done.
Man.
And that's so crazy. And you got to be content in that wait, man. Like, you got to be like, you know what? God is telling me to wait. So what I have right now is enough for me to wait. And for most of us, we can't do that. Most of us is like, I'm asking, so I can't, what I have in this wait is not good enough. And that's when we step outside of that that bubble, and we go try to find things to fulfill and fill these voids, which leads into my next point, bro, which is perfect, bro. Voids. Man, I you know what's so crazy? I hate this word. I hate it with a passion because this word has like ate me up my entire life. It was becoming who I was. I was becoming a void, bro. Like, and it's so crazy because it touches me deep, because the more and more I learn about who I am, and I am, as my brother E tells me, you start to notice these voids, right? And one of my favorite songs is man, I can't even think of the name of it right now, but deliver me. And they talk about in the beginning, as the guy's talking, he said, sometimes we get healed, but our soul has holes in it from past trauma, from past things that went on, sexual abuse, failed relationships. And these holes are the voids in our lives. These holes are things in our soul that's just voids, right? And hey, welcome back. I had to do a dictionary. I had to do it. Went to Google on the word void. And the first thing I looked up, bro, when I saw it, the first definition is an empty space. It's emptiness. That's the first definition of void.
That's good, bro.
But you know what, man? I never seen this other definition and became my favorite. The other definition said in a card game, it's when you dealt no cards. And I was like, what? That's a void? So I'm at the game, I'm sitting at the table, but I got no cards. So how am I playing? It's a void. I ain't even gonna preach on that. That's a whole nother thing we can go in on. But just think of those definitions for the word void. But why I brought up the word void, bro, is because in King James Version in Genesis 1:2, we watched this video, me and you, at work, where they were talking about how God is a creator. And we never recognize how God is a creator. And this is why we are ourselves creative people, because we know that God blew life into us. So everything that he is, he blew into us. That's why it's like an instinct for us to be creative things, creative people. Crazy thing, even for us to create chaos, we're just creative. That's who we are. We're not supposed to create chaos, but this is just who we are. We're creative because our Father is creative. But in Genesis 1:2 in the King James Version, it says the earth was without form and was void. That's what the Bible says, and was void, which means that the world was empty. My second point that I want to tell you right now is contentment can't be found in God's creations. Let me run that back because some of y'all just heard it. Contentment can't be found in God's creations. I didn't say it can't be found in God. I said in God's creations. And this is how I'm gonna prove this. When God created Earth, when we just said that it was void, right? That means it was darkness or whatever. Did
Yeah.
God create creatures and humans first? No, He didn't. He created light first. Oh, thank God that I
Mm.
got a Father that does not rush in His creation. See, if God would have created us and creatures first, we wouldn't have been able to leave. We wouldn't even be able to see what we needed to do. See, we would have had everything around us to fill voids and fill needs and wants, but you couldn't even find it because it was still dark. See, I'm getting to you now. I'm bringing you in now. You're starting to understand. See, he would have created everything we needed and wanted to fill the things and fulfill things that we needed, but we wouldn't have been able to find it because we would have still been lost. See, we got a God that knows how to create things. We got a God that knows how to take his time and wait and like strategize how he's going to create things. See, with us, what I'm trying to tell you is you cannot fill voids with God creations. You can't. Your contentment can't do that. You cannot fulfill voids with people. You cannot fulfill voids with things. See, if you like me and what I was going through, I would try to fill voids with sex. I'm gonna throw it out there. I gotta be real out here so people can understand, because there's a word for somebody to get out here. See, with all those things and all those times I was trying to fill voids, it only led me to darkness. See, it only led me to other things and more hurt and pain to me and those around you. But the real hurt was for myself. It kept pulling me away from my calling. See, so if you out here trying to fill voids with God's creations, you're moving wrong. God don't need you to feel that with his creations. He needs you to feel that with the light. And that light is Jesus. He brought it twice. See, even when he brought it the first time, it still wasn't good enough for us. It showed that Adam and Eve tried to fill a void and the light was gone. See, that light he brought the first time, he was like, it ain't good enough. I got to bring another light down here so these people can understand. And that light was Jesus. Jesus came down here and filled the void. I'm going in early. I'm sorry.
I said, go ahead, bro.
Early. And see, he put him on the cross and died. And he went down. And 3 days later, he came back up and your void was filled. You just got to believe it and understand that the only satisfying that you need is Jesus. That's the only thing that can fulfill it. That's where your contentment comes from. So understand when I say your contentment can't be filled with God's creations. It's only filled with God. Man, that's good. That's good right there. What are you filling your voids with?
Whoa, that's a question. That's a question of the year right there.
I'm gonna throw that in the chat, bro. Go ahead and get it, bro.
Man, yo. So when you talk about that, right? Let's go back to Genesis, man. And God said the earth was without form and voids, right? Who filled the void?
Go ahead, bro.
You don't even think about that. Like, who filled the void up?
Go ahead, bro.
Who brought life when there was a void? So if you're sitting in your life and you have a void in your life, who do you need to go to that can fill that void? Nothing but God. Only he can do that. My brother just broke it down to y'all. When you got holes in your soul, the creation that God made, because God created Adam and Eve, and guess what they did? Got us kicked out.
Yeah.
So in order to fulfill the void, he said, all right, I'm gonna bring Jesus and he gonna die and take it all up for everybody. I'm gonna fill every void that can ever be known to man. The void of hurt, the void of pain, the void of loss, the void of whatever void that you're dealing with in your life. God fulfilled that void through Jesus. And then he gave us power at the same time. So that now, instead of you feeling like you can't conquer the things in your life, he said, no. I left power behind so that you can do greater works than Jesus. That's crazy.
Ooh, man.
See, God got this whole life thing planned out perfectly. He said, okay, cool. All right, well, we're going to make the world. All right, cool. Boom. We got to start with something. So how do we start with something? We start with nothing.
Mm.
And we
Oh
take
man.
nothing and we create something.
Nah, say that one more time, bro.
Okay.
Bring that back, bro.
How do we start something and create something? You got to start with nothing.
Mm.
God took nothing and turned it into something. And that something was you. You're the creation. Hebrew,
Mm.
no animal got the breath of God in them. No plant got the breath of God in them. Nothing else got the breath of God in them but us.
Mm. That's good.
So we have to be in a place to create. What are you creating? Don't
Mm.
create more voids. You got voids in your life. Hey, let's fill them potholes in your heart with God.
That's
Let's fill
good. There
those
you go.
potholes in your heart with the Bible. Because when you read the instruction, it reads you back.
Mm.
So now I can sit here and say, hey man, people know my life because I'll put it on social media. I don't care. You can think about me whatever you want. I've been through so many different types of relationships that I was trying to fill. I didn't even know I was feeling voids from my childhood in relationships.
Mm.
But see, as God led me to back to his word to lay it back at his feet, now I'm learning that, you know what? God, you're the only person that can fulfill my hurt, my anxiety,
Mm-hmm.
my depression, my fear of loss. See, man, if y'all don't understand, we don't create anything. God gives us the idea.
Mm.
He's the creator. We're
Mm.
just tools to create.
There you go, bro. That's a good breakdown, man. I'm telling you right now, man. You just said so much, and I'm just hoping everybody catching it, taking notes, man. Because man, you just said a lot, and it's crazy because I had this highlighted in my Bible app, man, but then I didn't write it down. But it was First Timothy, chapter 6, verse 6 through 9, and it says, "But godliness is with contentment is great gain." But
Mm.
godliness with contentment is great gain. And I'm about to throw something out there that you just thought out here. For we brought nothing into this world, and we can't take nothing out of it. And my brother E just said, like, if you go back to what he just said with the nothing to something, man, this, like you guys got to understand, man. God, this ain't no makeup. Like it's laid out for us on how to get this thing called life. And you're gonna run into these bumps and you're gonna run into these obstacles, but there's always a way to get over it. There's always a way to get around it. And God is putting it out there for all of us. You just gotta dig in and go get it and go get these words, man. And to continue on, it says, but if we have food and clothing, we will be content with that. So he
Mm.
said, hey, you came in with nothing. So all this something that you gaining, you're not even going to be able to take it with you. But if you got food and clothing, you better learn how to be satisfied and
Oh
content
my
with that.
God.
Because all you really need to fill every void that you got is the light, and that is God. That's it. That's what E was just saying, right? And then it goes on to say, those who want to get rich fall into temptation and trapped into many foolish and harmful desires that plunge people into ruin and destruction. Now, I know when you hear the word rich, instantly you're thinking about money. Listen, scratch that. The Bible speaks in a different thing. When they talking about rich, they talking about the things that you want to get rich in. For me, that was sex. That's what I wanted to get rich in. So those are the things that brought harmful desires to me. Fulfilling the
Mm.
void of sexual abuse and abandonment. I need to fill it with something. Let's be transparent. Ask yourself tonight, what are you trying to get rich in that's leading you down to fall? That's leading you down to harmful desires. And we tend to think about everybody who we harm for. You need to start looking in the mirror first and seeing who you harm for first. My wife told me like a while back that stuck to me, and now it's getting to me hard. She said, Jamarcus, listen, I get hurt from what you do. But I'm gonna tell you right now, the person who gets hurt the most, and you're not looking at is you. When are you
Mm.
gonna start healing yourself?
Oh.
Like, stop trying to do
That's
things for me. Start trying to do them for you. See, we're out here trying to do everything for everybody else, and we keep running into the wall, bloody nose, hurt elbow, discolated finger. We getting it all right now. When are
man.
you gonna start being content with your voice and filling it with God. Like he said, who filled the first void? It wasn't us. It was God. God knows how to fill voids. He did it the very first time. If he can fill the void of the earth, the biggest thing out there that was in total darkness, why don't you think he can fulfill you? I'm looking at myself right now. Jamarcus, why don't he think he can fulfill your void? If he can fill the void in earth, it says in the Bible that you are his greatest creation. You are his best thing. The birds and the bees and all that, he makes sure they're good and they never go to him. But he makes sure every day you are fed, every day you are clothed. He asks that the daisies in the field, that they're beautiful every day. So why wouldn't he make sure that your back is clothed every day? Come on, look at the father that you got. Man, that's good, bro. Hey, like what you just brought up is good, bro. Man, that's good.
So what you just said, man, made me think about this, right? What's something that, and this is the true pandemic out here, right? This is, I'm gonna give it to y'all. The real pandemic is we got brothers and sisters that live on the streets, right? Yeah, that's in every part of the world, right? That's the real pandemic. So to them, what do you think their need? What do you think they praying for? We're gonna go back to the verse. It says, but if we have food and clothing, with these we will be content. If you ever gave a homeless person some food, how did they feel? If you ever gave them clothing, new pair of shoes, some clean clothes, how did they feel?
Man, that's good, bro.
If you gave them a tent to cover them, I'm bringing it. You know, I'm tangible.
Go ahead, bro. Make it tangible.
Tangible, because if God takes care of them, the thing you praying for, that chaos that's in you don't think he'll take care of you? If y'all, man, thank you, Holy Spirit. If you've never seen a miracle in your life, look at every homeless person out there. God takes care of them. So in your crying that you're doing in your prayers, why don't you think he'll take care of you? His word never, what did they say? His word never comes back void. God said in the word, I'll take care of you. I supply your every need. So every homeless person out there, they may not have food every day, but they get food from somewhere. They get something supplied to them from somewhere. They're not asking for, hey man, let me hit $1 million. Hey God, send me this husband, this wife. No. They looking for a warm place to sleep, some warm food. That's the bare minimum of life. So why can't we adopt the same thing in everything that we do? God has blessed you abundantly. If you're sitting here crying about, and I'm gonna say crying because I do it all the time.
Yeah, let's be real.
I do it all the time. God, I need this, I need that. I'm like a little baby. But God supplies my every needs. And that's when the mindset of my life changed. I'll be honest. There were times, and I'm in the Navy, there were times I didn't have food. My son ate, but I didn't. But God, I'm telling y'all, for some reason, and it's all because it's God and he loves me, he supplied somebody to give me food.
Yeah.
Somebody to give me whatever I was hurting for or thought that I was having anxiety, losing my mind, stressing, blood pressure high. God sent somebody every time. Never.
Man, I'm gonna be real with you, man. I know you said crying, man. I'm gonna be real. Sometimes it's complaining. Sometimes it's just flat out complaining. Sometimes it's we have everything that we need to be content, and we just complaining. And the reason why, and it goes back to what we were talking about last podcast. We start comparing. Dare not to compare. That's it. Dare not to compare, because if you do that, then you lose contentment. That's right off the rip, because we have everything we need. I am 100% sure, like you're talking about the homeless. You have a home over your head. You have clothes on your back, probably enough to fulfill you for your entire life. More shoes than you can bear. But then you start complaining because you see somebody else with something better than what you have. So now you think you're lacking because you don't got what they have. And this is I love when the plan come together, because now it's going right to my next point. And the next point we going into this is we tend to say this all the time. All we want is a little bit more than I ever have. See, that's what that is. You got to let that sink in. All we want is a little bit more than I'll ever have. That's that comparing and looking and thinking that you lacking, but you got everything that you need. One of my problems was, and my wife used to tell me about this one, and it started getting me. It used to be like, I used to think that the job was everything.
Yeah.
And my wife was like, you know, your kids don't need none of these material things. It's when you walk in the door, that's all they need. Dang. You ain't got to have a bag in your hand, a toy in your hand, money in your hand. It's just you. And see, the crazy thing is when other people can see the content that you supposed to have.
Yeah.
That hurts. When other people can see the content that you're supposed to have, and you can't see it because your blinders are on, because you're looking at everybody else seeing what you're lacking. That's what it is. And you know what? It ain't even when you're looking at other people, and most of the times it ain't even the superstars. Most of us can go through the gram and see LeBron and be like, oh, we the same age and he rich, he famous. Oh, I can scroll by that. I can scroll by it. Oh, this superstar just got this new Bugatti. I can scroll by that. They're rich. They're supposed to have it. You know which one is the worst? The one that hurts the worst? It's when it's somebody you know that's doing better than you right then in their season. That's when the devil start creeping in. Hold on. They the same age as me. Hold on, wait a minute. We went to the same school. Hold on, wait a minute. They ain't got no degree. How they boutique is up and running right now. How they baking thing is up and going. How they podcast is up and going. We went to the same school. We stayed on the same street. They made same mistakes I did. See, that's when the devil get good at it.
Yes,
all the fancy people and superstars, we tend to write those off because we know they supposed to have it. Nah, it be the people you grew up with. It be the family members, the ones that start to creep in. And that's when that compare, that do not dare not to compare, starts to sink in, because you looking right at them like, man, I went to school with this person. How they doing better than me? It must be something inside of me that's lacking. You heard that, right? The inside of me that's lacking. It can't be my outward appearance, because I'm cool. I'm good. I'm in good health. I'm straight. So it must be something inside of me that I'm not doing right. So you know what I need to do? I need to take on more so that I can get where they going. And then you miss something right there, man. Bro, this is the verse that got me to it, right? It's Romans chapter 12:2. And it goes on my point. Do not copy the behaviors and customs of this world, but let God transform you into a new person by changing the way you think. That's that inside thing. Then you will know God's will for you, which is good and pleasing and perfect. So the only thing that's going to be perfect about me is God's will. I'm never going to be perfect. Big fact. Y'all heard that, right? Okay, cool. Because of the privilege and authority God has given me, how did you get it? God gave it to you. You didn't get it by yourself. How he talked about how this was created. God gave it to you. I give each of you this warning. Don't think that you are better than you really are. Oh, man. Damn. That cut a little hard, right? All right. Be honest in your evaluation of yourself. Measure yourself not by what you're lacking, not by what other people have, not by this and that. Watch what they tell you to measure yourself by. This is where God is good. It says, measure yourselves by the faith God has given you. Close the book on it. See, this is how you know where you've been messing up with. When you're measuring yourself with everything else other than what God told you to measure yourself with, is when you're going to go downhill. God says, measure yourself by faith, which I've given you, so that you can see that you got everything that you need. Go ahead and jump in, bro. There's way more than this. Jump in.
Hey, yo, how let me ask y'all a question, man. If God was to say, hey, Eric, I'm sending you a blessing on Thursday. I need you to go pick it up. Right. And I go pick it up on Thursday and I open it up and I look at it. And then my brother Jamarcus comes and like, hey, bro, God sent me something too. And then I started looking at his blessing. You know what I just did? I took the focus off of mine. See, I look at his and instantly, it's a human instinct to be like, well, dang, like why mine don't look like his? It's the same thing we do each and every day. Like I remember when I started my entrepreneur journey, I used to look at all the millionaires and be like, man, they got the Bentleys, they got this, they got that. Like, man, why I ain't got that? And then I started, like my brother said, doing stuff that God ain't even need me to do. Like God don't need you for anything. Okay, we're gonna keep it 100. He don't need you for anything, but he gonna use you for everything.
Ooh.
See, there's a difference between needing and using. God don't need you; he gonna use you. But see, when you focus on what God sends you, and you stop comparing yourself to everybody else, you're gonna be like my brother was like, you know what? When I walk in the house, man, my kids love me. There are some kids out here that don't even love their fathers or their mothers. See, kids, this is why God said have childlike faith, right?
Oh, I knew you was going there good, bro.
Yeah, you know it. Man, kids don't need toys. I can prove it. I don't care what parent out there, I can prove you're wrong. We can make a bet on it. I don't care. Kids don't need toys.
Nope.
Right? I'm gonna give you two scenarios. I can't remember one toy that my parents got me. Not one. I can remember the times that we had in the moments that we shared. They don't need anything. They just need your presence. Just like God don't need nothing from you but your presence.
Man, that's good. That's good.
In order to be used, you got to be present. If you're not here, that's when you feel like, man, I ain't heard from God in a minute because you ain't present.
That's good.
You're not in his presence to be used. So when you get used, guess what? Now, as you're getting in this word and you're like, you know what? I'm gonna lay at God's feet and be in his presence. God said, since we have gifts different, okay, God, so you don't need me to compare myself. And let's be honest, if I really take a look at my life, I ain't do none of this. So God, what do you need from me? Right? And when you put yourself in a place to be used, guess what? You don't have to talk about your blessings. Everybody else will.
That's good, bro. Hey, I want to say so, man, because you said I'm trying to remember what you just said. You said, golly, man, God gonna bring it to me. Like you said, the way you said it, man, was so crazy. Oh, you were talking about how like kids, they don't need toys, they just need your presence. And then you brought it back to saying that God doesn't need, he just needs our presence, right? The crazy thing is God's just trying to make us understand this flip-flop too, that we don't need anything but God's presence. It's a revolving door, how this works. God needs our presence to use us, and we need God's presence to be used.
There you go.
That's where, see, he knows his job. We don't know our job. That's the problem. Like, we don't know that we need God's presence. Like, we don't need anything else, because if you got God's presence, then you got everything that you need. Man, that's good, bro. Like, I'm going to go into this because we were talking about that all we want is a little bit more than I'll ever had. And I talked about that Romans, and this is the behavior and custom of the world. You got to understand that the world would instill this in you. This will become your attitude if you keep going in the world, right? And we're talking about attitude, that's something else inside. So that means that this is what the world wants you to conform to, right? Just think about it. Every time you watch TV, a movie, or anything, you get advertised with something to be happy that you need this more, right? You watching Hulu, you watching, oh, you need this, you need this makeup. You need this BBL for y'all women out there. You need this, guys. You need that. Like, that's what I'm trying to tell you. Like, they advertise things that'll tell you you need this to be happy, right?
Yeah.
The crazy thing is, what do you think the enemy do? Oh, you think the enemy don't advertise? You think the devil doesn't advertise to you, right? The crazy thing is, what products is the enemy advertising to you to tell you you need this to be happy? We going back into that boys thing. The enemy will advertise you, this is what you need. The enemy will advertise you need a better man or a better wife than your spouse. You need a better job. You need a better this. You need a better that. The enemy will advertise you what product he thinks you need to be happy. And if you fall into it, you now have just fell out of your contentment. You just now have fell out knowing that everything you needed was with God. See, when those advertising comes on, I love YouTube because it asks you, do you want to skip this ad? Come on.
Yeah.
See, I love YouTube because YouTube asks you, do you want to skip this ad and get right back on to the scheduled programming? That's what God is here for you. God will help you skip that ad, that product that you think you need, and continue on with your schedule and product. See, that's what the Bible and those instructions for. God be the glory that we got a great Father that is able to skip our ads that we don't need. Those products you don't need in your life to fill those voids. You got everything that you need. See, in this skipping, in these ads and advertising, that's that whole the grass is greener on the other side mentality. That's that whole the grass is greener looking, oh, that's better on that side.
Yeah.
He came out to our football game today. Me being a coach in football, I got to let y'all in on something. Sometime that grass y'all looking at, that's turf. It's artificial. Yeah. Let me say that again. That grass you're looking at, sometimes it's turf. It's artificial. That artificial means it ain't good. It ain't the best. That means that it's home. It ain't even homegrown. That means that it's fake. That means that you don't need it in your life. What I'm trying to tell you is the grass is not always greener on the other side. See, sometimes the grass that we got right there, all it needs is some watering. All it needs is our presence to be there. See, that's what good grass is. When you going through the neighborhoods and you looking at the lawn across the street and you be like, man, they lawn look good. See, you missed the day when the man was outside doing everything he needed in his lawn to get it as green as it is today. You missed the week before when he was out there planting and sowing the seeds that reap the weeks later to get the grass green in his lawn. You missed the work that he put in. You missed his contentment to be like, God, I know everybody else grass looks green around me, but my lawn today, the one that you brought me, the one that you blessed this house with me today, that's the one that I'm gonna put in this work in. And I know if I keep measuring not by everybody else's lawns, but by your faith, you're gonna make this grass right here green as everybody else around me. Let's go. Who out there today needs to have faith in their lawn today? Who needs to have faith in their life today that God is about to make your life green as everybody else around you? The pastures he's about to make sprout up. You got to have contentment. That contentment is found in God. That contentment is found in him. Somebody out there needed to hear this today. Somebody needed to hear it. Man, bro, this is good, bro. This is good. This is good, bro.
I think y'all missed the key part to this, to what he just said about the man's grass. The man spent time being present for the grass. See, God blessed him with the yard. And in order, God can't give you more if you don't take care of what you got right now.
Ooh, man, come on.
So that means you're going to have to be content with it until God brings more. Again, let's go back to Genesis. God did more in the void. There was a void. God said, okay, cool. I got it. I'm going to create trees, grass, make it all beautiful, put some water, some mountains. I'm going to make it beautiful. God can't make your life beautiful if you feeling your voice yourself.
Mm.
You have to, hey man, you got to stop. You got to take your hands off it and say, hey God, you know what? I've been trying to fill this void. I've been worried about what John got over there, but I haven't spent time on what you blessed me with right here.
Mm, mm, mm.
What do I need to do with this right here? And
Yes,
once
yes,
you
yes.
get to that place where you are content, think of content as peace.
Mm. That's
You ever
good.
been you have your life ever been chaotic and then all of a sudden there's peace?
That's good.
Like we had our boy Jameric on, right? And the brother man had the coldest line ever, battling cancer. He said, if he said it's gonna be one or two things. I'm either going home or I'm going home.
Mm.
That's peace. That's contentment.
Mm.
Regardless of what the world would say, what the doctors would say, what his family would say. See, people gonna count you out in your life already. People
mm.
gonna say, hey, y'all guys don't supposed to have a podcast because you never went to school for it. Who are you to talk about God? Because hey, you have a past. No, 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 no. Don't get it twisted. We we had to get to a place of contentment.
Mm.
I had to stop fighting God. I had to stop filling my own voice to get to a place and say, hey God, you know what? I'm gonna just beat it. Use me however you see fit.
Man,
Whatever
that's
you
good,
need me
bro.
to do, cool, we'll do that. Guess
Man,
what?
that's good.
Hey, I'm gonna help y'all in y'all life. If you looking for a relationship, you looking for money, you looking for career, you looking for whatever it is, this void that you have, just say, hey God, you know what? I have this void that I want, but you know what I need. So you know what? You know what I want from you, God? What you want from me.
Mm.
That's it. That's contentment. Because guess what? I know for 1000% fact that God will supply my every need and give me more. See, you asking for more, but God is gonna give it to you. He loves us. Like you ever, if you got kids out there, right, or a loved one, right, and they say, "Hey, man, you know what? I want them, my son to be like, hey, Dad, I want the Ryan's toy." I'm like, all right, cool. You get to the store and
Yeah.
you start thinking about, you know what? I'm gonna give him more than what he asked for,
Mm.
and look at the reaction of the person. It's a whole different reaction because they only expected one thing and they got plus. See, when you get that surplus of blessings, it's a whole different feeling on the inside. Hey, God, man, I need my bills paid. Lord Jesus, I don't know how I'm gonna pay this rent. And then God said, hey, you know what? I'm not only gonna pay your rent, but I'm gonna get one of them companies to send you a check, and you don't even know where it came from. You
Mm.
ever got a check in the mail and didn't know where it came from?
Ooh, best feeling in the world.
What? Oh my God! I got a $10. Best $10 ever. Go get this
Yes,
McDonald's.
indeed.
You know what I'm saying? Like it's the same thing, man. God loves us so much that He gonna bless us with more. But you have to get to that place and say, I'm gonna tell y'all, if y'all ain't watched all the episodes since November, you watch the transformation of me and my brother. We done been through hell since November.
Yeah,
We
big
couldn't
fact.
tell because the peace, the contentment in, hey God, you know what? What you need from me, that's way more important than what I need.
That's good, bro.
And
That's
He
good right
blessed
there.
us with more, right? And we at the end of this, we're gonna show you. We did a manifestation call, and one of my keys was that BroTalk grows, and we're gonna show y'all living proof that God, when you let go and just let God take it, and just let Him guide you step by step, and you move when He say move, you win every time. I don't know how many more times we got to say this. You win every time. I don't care if you don't have the money that you need in your life right now. I don't care if your car notice due and they about to repo your car. I don't care that you don't have.
They tried to mute you.
See, it doesn't matter if you don't have nobody to love you, right? It doesn't matter if you're in a place and you've been praying for this promotion and you ain't got it yet. It doesn't matter.
Mm-hmm.
I said you win every time. See,
Man.
take your focus off the thing and put it on God. Sit your foundation on God, then the things will come. They're
Mm.
gonna start coming. And guess what? You're not gonna know how to handle it.
That's good.
Isn't that funny? God will bless you with more, and you be like, oh my God, what am I supposed to do with it? Bring it back to him. He the person that filled the void. So you take what he filled and you take it back to him because there's another void that's coming.
That's good. Man.
Hey, man, let's go.
Hey, bro, like I ain't got nothing else, bro. This was good, bro. Like the crazy thing is, man, this is amazing, man. Like you said, man, like we got to bring it back to God, and you just got to make sure that everything is going like the right way with how you doing stuff, man. So it's been awesome. It's been great, man. I know if you gonna share with them,
Let's
man,
get it.
let
Let's
them know,
get
man,
it.
what's
Let's
coming, man.
get it.
I will tell y'all before E speaks on it, man. This was a real life testimony of waiting. Like I'm being completely honest with y'all because if we didn't wait and we rushed into something before this came, I don't know
Yeah.
how this would have looked. It wouldn't have had God's word on it. So I'm gonna let E do
Hey,
his thing, man. And whoo,
can y'all
man,
see this? I hope everybody, there we go. Everybody
yeah,
can see the screen, right? So, Bro Talk Nation, man, God gave us a word back in, I think, December or January.
yeah,
And he said to do more, right? So me and my brother was trying to figure out like what we need to do. We need to do this, we need to do that. And God, see, it's perfect for this series. We had to wait. We had to be content in what God gave us.
it's
God
always
gave
good.
us this platform. We had to be content. And we had to be content and channel our focus. Hey, God, what do you need us to do? And when I say God didn't need us to do nothing but continue to do the last thing he told us to do,
Mm-hmm.
man, true blessings, true just God blowing our minds. So we got an email about a couple weeks ago, and this online radio station Helium reached out to us and was like, "Hey, we want to put you on our platform, bigger distribution, blah blah. Like we're gonna do this and that." And we were like, "Now, let me give you the backstory. I was up at 2:30 in the morning. I don't know why. God always sends me things at 2:30 in the morning, right? So I was up at 2:30 in the morning. Something said check the email. So I checked our Bro Talk email and I saw this. And so I hit my brother. See, instead of moving hastily and reaching out, I said, nope, let me go talk to my brother. So we talked about it. See, when you don't move in haste,
Mm-hmm.
things come together in peace.
Yeah.
Right? So we talked about it, boom, went to moving. Me and my brother thought that we were gonna have to do a whole lot of stuff. God said, nope. I just need y'all to do the last thing I told y'all to do. So behind the scenes,
Man.
there was a whole team working on our behalf. And when I say these guys put together everything, and hey, just a shout out to Justin,
Yeah.
Eric, and Ernie, and Helium Man for everything that they did. But hey, Bro Talk Nation, we on Helium Radio. Our show now will air on Thursdays, 6 p.m. Central Standard Time.
Yeah. Central Standard Time.
Central Standard Time. Hey, it's time to grow, man. We're growing.
Yeah.
We growing bigger and bigger. God's word is getting more amplified. And guess what? He did all the work.
Yeah.
We just
Man.
did last thing
The
he told us.
the crazy thing is, man, like first and foremost, like we always say, man, thank you. Hey, at the beginning of the time, that's just what we can say is thank you.
Yeah.
But like E said, man, we got approached by something else like way before this, and
Yeah.
we were about to move so fast on it, and it was all type of things that was just not right. And it's
Yeah.
because it's not what God wanted to happen, man. And on this one, and you know when God brings you something when it's out of nowhere and you did nothing for it. We did nothing for it. All we've been doing is just doing podcasts. And this came out of nowhere and God just been moving. and I'm forever grateful for what he's doing and the community that he's putting around us with
Yeah.
people who are, just around us praying for us. We thank y'all each and every day. But let God, like he said, man, when you being content, he will use you. And just don't just do the last thing he told you to do. And if that's to wait, then just wait, man. Like
Yeah.
this right here has blown my mind. It's too far for us to understand. Like the Bible said, his understanding, we can't fathom. Even the
Hey,
world can't fathom. The enemy can't fathom. Nobody can fathom what he's doing. So don't even try to think about it. Don't try to understand God. Just stand on God and let him do what he does. And man,
hey, he
boy,
does what he do.
let's go.
Hey, September 16th will be our first show. Will be aired 6 p.m. Central Standard Time. I just put the link up. So, hey, show the support. We thank you guys.
Yeah. Share.
Hey, share. Hey, continue to pray for us. We continue to pray for
Yeah.
you. And hey, man, it's serious. I'm telling y'all, it's living proof, living word, living water. Like, God got a message in this series, and I'm telling y'all, it is changing lives. Not just for me and my
Breakthroughs are
brother,
coming.
breakthroughs. Like not just for us and our families, but hey, we got more testimonies coming. God got something big planned for Bro Talk Nation. Sit back and watch. That's all I got, bro.
Yes, sir. We
All
out
right.
here.
Till next time, guys. See you Thursday on Helium Radio. Let's
Yeah,
get it.
yeah.